You know, one thing I'm sick of is having mountains and mountains of never-ending debt. I've been in debt my whole life, and I'm so fucking sick of it. Part of this channel was to be about getting debt-free, and I've been working on that over the last couple of years. The meaning behind the name of this channel, Unowned Me, is that I want to be unowned by anything. When you have car debt, mortgage debt, credit card debt, then you're owned by that debt. You're owned by the companies that you got to pay back. And it's my goal now to be unowned. And I'm about to make another big move towards that goal. Part of this channel is, of course, it's always been about options trading and selling options for income. This is a great life skill that you can learn to always have the ability to make money if you got a little bit of cash to work with and a little bit of knowledge. But what really holds you back in life is mountains of debt. And I don't have any car debt now. I don't have any credit card debt. I've just got house debt, and I've whittled that down. I used to have a little bit of credit card debt. I used to have some car debt. I'll get into that in a minute. But I've made some changes to get rid of that debt, and I've made some real estate changes to get rid of some debt as well. And I'll tell you about that story on my journey. So part of this channel is going to be about my journey to becoming debt-free, and then using my available cash flow with options to make income for the rest of my life. So let's jump in. In 2021, I talked myself into buying this thing, which is an awesome Toyota Tundra truck. I really loved it. I didn't need it. I had a paid off car, but I wanted something to haul a boat with and something maybe to haul junk with if I ever needed. But basically, I talked myself into it because I just wanted it. And I think a lot of people do that. And I had, having a good job and good credit can lead you into a trap like this, because I was able to take out a loan and buy this car or this truck. And at the time, I mean, these trucks are going now for like 60, 70,000. This is in the end of 2021. I got this for 41,000, but still the payment was like 650, and I already had a paid off car, and I didn't need that. And I started to look into this, and I read an article about how a lot of people buying boats and cars and things, they really screw up their retirement long term. And it just kind of hit me like a light bulb that, what the hell am I doing? I do not need this truck. It's beautiful. I like it. It's what I wanted. Probably never find one like it again. But it's just stuff, and you don't need it. I didn't need this. So these are the pictures I took when I put it up for sale again. And this was during the pandemic, so car prices were going crazy. Luckily, I was able to sell this. So I sold it actually to a dealer for more than what I bought it for. I think I put about 10,000 down on this, so I owed like 30,000. And once I sold this, I had that back. I had 10,000 saved up, and so I used some of that down and some of my savings to just buy this. And I paid cash for it. It's a Hyundai Tucson. It's got 4-wheel drive because I like to go hiking, skiing, so I like to have 4-wheel drive. But it's practical. It's very cheap, easy to run. And so that wipes out like $20,000 worth of debt right there. So that's the first big step that I made towards my goal of becoming debt-free. The next thing I did was to sell this beautiful property. It was a nice place to live, and I love the property, but it was too much. It's bigger than I need. It's just me and my daughter, and it's just stuff again. And this house, and it's gone way, way up. I ended up selling it for $725 full price. And so I got a lot of equity there. I've been fortunate in my life to have a bunch of property and real estate that's gone up in value quite a bit. So I've downsized into a smaller place. So this house was worth $725 when I sold it. And I took some of the money and I put down on another property worth $525. So I shaved off immediately $200,000 worth of debt there. So what I owe here is $293 on this property. And I used some of the proceeds to pay off this condo here, which is worth right now about $335. So I don't owe anything on that. And that's going to be one of my next moves, which I'll tell you about in a second. And then I've got this other property that I rent out to traveling nurses. But still, that's another $260,000 in debt that I want to eliminate all of this debt eventually. So as of right now, my holdings are about, 1.47 million. I owe about 553, and so my net worth is right around 916. So selling this property was another step towards getting to my goal of being debt free. And I got to tell you, it's like purging your closet and cleaning out your clutter. It just makes you feel better. I feel a lot more stress free by doing this. Even though I love the truck, I love the house, there's nothing better than knowing that you've got less debt. And I'm getting to be, I'm in my mid 50s. I want to be able to retire. I want to be able to travel and experience things instead of having things. My retirement plan up until now has been to kind of hold real estate, let it appreciate, let the tenants pay it off. But I'm kind of tired of real estate right now. And I've been a landlord most of my life. I've downsized. I've just got like these last couple rentals now. And I'm going to end up getting rid of them so I can live totally debt free and use my income and have the freedom to be able to quit my job and take a job that is doing something that I like to do, that I want to do. Because I can't do that right now because I'm stuck in the trap of having too much debt. I've got to keep my job and I've got to keep working to pay off this mountains of debt. It's ridiculous. So my original plan for the next 10 years was going to be to start with about $30,000 in my Robinhood account and grow this. The one rental brings in $1,600 a month. I was going to add that to this. Plus I'm expecting a growth rate of about 30% per year. So adding this growth plus 19.2, which is $16,000 a month. My second year I would have this. My third year I would have this, and so on. That's if I reinvest all of the profits from selling options. So in about 10 years, this rent will increase. So I should be past $1 million, but then I'll be like mid 60s, and I want to enjoy life now. So I'm going to make a big move here. And what I've decided to do is to sell this property right here. I've calculated it with my tax professional that there's capital gains on this, plus brokerage fees and closing costs. I would end up with about $275, I believe, or $285 that I would net from this property if I sold it. So I could immediately pay off one of these mortgages or pay this one way down. Probably use my salary and finish this one off real quick. This one's at a higher interest rate. The payment's $2,420. This one's at a lower interest rate. The payment's $1,700. So I'd probably want to pay this one off first. Then I would have $2,400 a month to start putting into the stock market. But one thing I've considered doing is to take the proceeds from this property and put it into the stock market and really scale up my plan to retire with options selling. So far this year, it's mid to late May right now. So far I've made $965 in premium. April I made $726. March I made $1,054. February $1,019. January $583. I think I can start, getting this up to $1,000 a month, or at least $750, between $500 and $1,000 a month. Some of this $39,000, the stock is, some of the funds are tied up like this. Realty income, for example, I've got, $5,300 tied up in this with about 100 shares. So not all of the portfolio size is what I have available. So I estimate that with about $25,000, I can make about $750 a month. If I take this $25,000 that I'm already using and add to it $275, that would give me $300,000 to work with. So I created this sheet. Starting in year one, if I had a balance in my Robinhood of $300,000, $25,000 would go into that 12 times. So I could do 12 times 750. So if I'm making like average 750 a month per each 25,000, that would be 12 times 750, which would be 9,000 a month. And I'm estimating a 30% tax. I'm not sure what the taxes are. I've got to figure that out. But just to be safe, I think 30% is pretty safe. Gross yearly, that would be 108. After tax, 75. If I put that all back into my brokerage account, next year I would have theoretically 375, 600. That would allow $25,000 to go into this 15 times. 15 times 750 would be $11,250 a month. Gross per year, 135. After tax, 94.5, and repeat this process again. So within about 6 or 7 years, I would have $1 million in my account versus taking, maybe 10 years to get that. So I could really accelerate the process here. And I can play with this. I could do $500 a month just to be safe. That would be $6,000 a month gross. If I'm actually making $1,000 a month for every $25,000, that would be $12,000 gross, $8,400 monthly, $144 gross, after tax $100. After 10 years, I'd be making 1.3 million per year after taxes. According to this, who knows what could happen in the meantime, but I'm just trying to project out the possibilities here. And what I really want to do is be able to quit my job. And so actually paying off my debt quicker would allow me to do that quicker. So I don't know if I should put it in the stock market or if I should eliminate one of these mortgages. So I'm in the process of selling this condo. There's a tenant in there now. I make $1,600 a month off that gross. There's condo fees, and then there's taxes I got to pay for. But if I compare that $1,600 a month for owning the condo versus grossing $12,000 a month for using that money that's in the condo, it's kind of a no-brainer. Even if I went $500, $6,000 or even $4,200 after taxes is way more than $1,600. So I think this is kind of a no-brainer move that I can use to be able to eventually quit my job. Let's go back to 1,000 here. So this is if I reinvest everything. So this 100 would go here, it'd be 408. The next year, that 134 would be added to the next year. That's with me keeping my job, reinvesting everything. So I've got a hidden field here. If I expand this and expand this, this is my balance if I'm living off of some of the proceeds. So if I consider the balance the first year at 300, gross this, after tax this, if I take half of that, 50,000, and I put that back in the stock market here, it's not going to grow as fast as putting it all back in, but I can live off of proceeds of 50,000 the first year. So I put this proceeds back in, 350,400 to work with. The next year, that'd be after tax 134.4. If I split that in half and put that in, the next year that would bump up to 417.6 and so on. So I could live off of, starting right off the bat, $50,000 and grow things more slowly. In 10 years, I would have 680 versus 1.3 million. But this would allow me to quit my job rather quickly. So it's looking like this is maybe the best option for me right now. Use that money, put it in the stock market and sell options versus paying off debt. One of my big goals is to pay off debt, but I'm going to see how this goes before if this doesn't go the way I want to, I'm not really losing any capital in my account, and I can decide later after a few months if this isn't working the way I want it to, I could just chunk the money down, pay off one of these mortgages and have, I'd pay off this one, then I would have $2,400 a month just to put in the stock market, and that would be really good. Or I could chunk it down and pay off this mortgage really quick. So I've got some options. Real estate has been good to me. I'm lucky, and I'm happy that I've made the moves I did in the past with the debt, but I want to get out of debt now, and within the next few years, just be debt free. And I think putting the money in the stock market, after a couple years, I can start living off part of this and chunking down part of it into my mortgage and paying it off quicker. So let me know what you guys think. Should I put the $275,000 along with my $25,000 and put it in the stock market? Or if I really want to adhere to my goals and be debt free, should I pay off this mortgage and have $2,400 to invest each month? I'm kind of leaning towards the stock market, but that's my loosely based plan right now. And I hope you got some value out of this. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.